Hello, so today I'm going to be building a house with every wood type, so oak, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, dark oak, mangrove, cherry, pale oak, bamboo, crimson, and warped. So, first I'm gonna make a oak house. I just need to find a good area to make this. All of these houses will be semi-accessible in the early game. It may take a few in-game days to make them, but the final product will be worth it. So this is all the stuff. I think this is all the stuff you are gonna need to build it. First start with 3 tall wood log columns and put glass in between them. So here's my So here's what the entrance should look like. Maybe add some torches here to give it some light. Extend this as far as you want and as wide as you want. So I'm gonna go for 6 blocks wide and then then 8 blocks going back. And extend to at least 3 blocks to give plenty of room to jump. It might possibly take a while to collect all the resources for this house, the first house. So these are kind of little bases to have for either a starter house or a second house before going on to some larger builds. So then you fill in the floor with cobblestone or any stone type that you want. I'm going for cobblestone because it's the easiest to get early game. I'm gonna temporarily put some torches there. And fix this hole here. So, and then you mine out the walls and replace them with the oak planks. This is probably the longest part of the build. Once you've done that, I'd suggest putting some torches on the back walls, and then for the roof you can either do oak logs in like this, you could either do planks like this, or you could have them in an alternating pattern, which would look like this, which I think is quite cool. Then you want to add a few more torches around to make the place a bit lighter, and then you can get onto decorating with some chests, a bed, some lanterns maybe, and a crafting table and a couple furnaces which you can place anywhere you want, so this wall is a bit bare, so you can use this for extra storage space, more furnaces, or or have an anvil here, and then, or you could have an enchantment area. So I don't actually know how to actually make an enchantment table, but an enchanting area, but I think it's something like that. So here's the first house on the outside, quite a little area, and inside you've got all the stuff you need for a starter house. Now onto the next house, which is spruce. For this one you will need some spruce saplings, some bone meal, spruce logs, spruce planks, stripped spruce logs, and some glass. Oh, and also a ladder. So you want to get a nice area to get a large spruce tree. So this is quite a good one, because you can after the first layer of leaves you can remove these ones. Maybe the next layer up as well, the next layer or two up. Just to have plenty of space to build the house. So, this should be plenty of room, and what you want to do with the ladders is get your way down to the bottom, and get to 1 block higher than the surrounding leaves, and then make a small floor that wraps around a few times, 2 or 3 maybe, or more depending on the size of the tree you have. For this example, I'm just doing 2 to make it easier, and then at the corners you so you want to add 5 high pillars on each corner of the platform, and then you can bridge them together. To make this shape, and then with the stripped spruce log you build up some walls and make sure to leave some room for windows. with this layout it should give you plenty of room to have your stuff, the basic stuff like a furnace, chests, bed, crafting table. But if you want more stuff or more room, you can continue the ladders upwards and make another level with a similar design. And then for the roof, you can do a checkerboard design. So something like this. So yeah, this is just a simple tree house. And you can change some design aspects of it. You could change up the roof design or the wall design. But this, I think, is the house basically done. Might add, make the windows a bit larger here. And maybe around here. And then for an interior, you have complete freedom for what you want to do. But for me, I'm going to have all the basic stuff and some things that you sometimes wouldn't have in a starter base. So I'm gonna put a lantern in each of the 4 corners. Put my smoker here, and my blast furnace there, anvil there, jukebox there, and on this back wall you can putting my chests and that there, then a bed there, then that's the spruce house done. So here's the outside. I'm just gonna cover up the bottom of this with a few trapdoors. Okay, and So that's the build done. Here's the outside, and then here's the inside. Now a jungle wood house, which, because of the shade of the colours, birchwood house first. So I'm just gonna make a simple house. So you will need all of this stuff, and you'll need all of this stuff. This one's a really simple one. So to start, you make a grid of a square of cobblestone as large as you'd like. So this is going to be how big the interior is going to be, and then you do another layer of cobblestone around that, and this is where the walls are going to be. So here's the first step you need to do then. Place down the door. Get some planks around the door. Then you can build up 4 blocks with the logs on each corner. Then with the glass you can put it surrounding the door. Or you can have it like this, or like this, or if you want, like this. Which in my opinion is my favourite. Fill in these with glass. If you want, you can add a little fence around the whole thing. So like this. Have a little front garden. Add a roof of either birch logs or cobblestone. I'm gonna go with the birch logs. But I'm going to make for this I'm gonna make them stripped birch logs because they look slightly nicer than normal birch logs. So currently here's what it looks like from the outside. So we're gonna need to add a roof, you can either have it like this and put some slabs on, or you can have it all slanted up to the top. For me, I'm gonna just put some slabs on because I think it looks nice. So here's the outside. Now I'm gonna work on the inside. No. I'm gonna start by lighting this up. So now with the space you can put whatever you want in it. So I'm gonna do a really simple layout. I got 2 crafting tables. So instead of a second crafting table, I'm going to put a cauldron. Then you can put some chests over here, and then a bed here. Then there's the 3rd house. From the outside and the inside. Please tell me which house at the end of the video is your favourite. At the end I will go through all of them and say my favourite. But now it's on to jungle wood, which kind of gives a tropical vibe, so I'm gonna do like a beach hut type thing. I think this will be the only house that... Oh, no, never mind. So for this one, it's not going to be the biggest, but it's going to be quite easy to make. So first do 4 blocks tall here, then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks away, and pillar up 4 here, and then 5 here. And then with the jungle planks, you want to fill it in like this. And then for this you want 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blocks away. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna be quite a small house. But I might trim a bit off the top, so it's not too tall. Then you want to connect these walls up with planks and have a little window here. And then another window there. And then for the back wall, you'll have another 2 windows. You can keep the floor as grass, but take away all the... as grass blocks, but take away all the grass. And then for the roof, you just want to extend this a bit. Add some slabs here, like this. Then with this you can get some fences. To make a little canopy area. And then you can fill in the rest of the roof like this. And when you get to here, just use some stairs, or you can use some more jungle slabs to make it look like this, which in my opinion is much nicer. make a little beach hut type thing, and then you just fill in the other windows, and then that's the outside complete with its own canopy. And then for the inside, similar thing to all of them, it can be whatever you want. You could have you could make some like shelves, it's really up to your imagination. So this is what I'm using for my interior. So I'm gonna have a bed there, smoker and a blast furnace there, crafting table with an anvil there, and then a chest on top of a chest there, and a shelf with a chest on top there. And then I'll add some torches, and then we'll move on to our 5th wood type. So here's quite a small one, which would go well in a densely packed jungle. And now onto acacia. So for this one, I am going to take a bit of inspiration from the village houses, the acacia village houses, and have it on like a platform. So this one's not going to be too large or too complicated. So you want to build four 4-block tall pillars with acacia logs. Make sure they're an equal distance apart. And then fill in the gaps with some acacia slabs. Then build a small staircase going from this one all the way down to the floor, the ground. So now you've got a staircase going up to the top here, so then you want to add 4 blocks to each of the original pillars. And then with some acacia planks, you can build some windows, build an area for a door. So this one is just very simple. So if you want to add a bit of texture to it, you can get some stone stairs and build a roof out of them. Which should look good. So this looks good. And if you want, you can switch out the acacia logs for the supports out for fences to make the legs look less chunky. And there it is. It comes with a free canopy as well. And now the interior is quite small, so this is like a first house for like one night. So it's only really the basic stuff you want. So that's the 5th house done. Now on to dark oak. And for this one, I'm gonna need a mushroom. And some bone meal. Some dark oak trapdoor. So this one's probably the most simple. You just need to find a naturally spawning mushroom, but I will build one myself, giant mushroom. So, the giant mushroom should make quite a good starter house, as most of the house has already been done for you. So here is a giant mushroom. What you want to do is build a ladder to the bottom of the red part, and then maybe just one below that. So then you can place some dark oak planks around. And mine this middle part of the stalk. Add a trapdoor here, and you've got another really small house, but really easy one. You can add some windows, get some natural light in, then like the acacia one, don't want too much decoration, so it's just the necessities. Which I've got right here. So the bed, crafting table, furnace, and chest. So here's the mushroom house. Should look like this from the outside, and then something like this on the inside. Now on to the next house, which is the mangrove house. So this one's gonna be like an underground house. So you don't need much for making the actual house part, but what you want to do is dig down a few blocks, 4 or 5 should do. This is probably not the best house to be playing with friends, to have while playing with friends, as it is, I mean, it's less noticeable than the other houses, but it's easy to get into. So this is supposed to be quite a small one, so not really meant for large underground areas, but it can be expanded upon. You can make more floors, you can extend it outwards. Then for the walls you can do a mangrove log. I think by far this is the simplest of the houses, or at least the one that uses the least materials. You will have to keep the ceiling grass, or unless you're really deep down, or else it's going to be even more noticeable from the outside. But that doesn't really matter if you're playing a game by yourself. So that is it basically done. I just need to add in the interior. So for this one you can add a bit more than the last one, because it is quite a bit bigger, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. So then chests here, and then a bed here, a couple of torches, then you've got a mangrove starter house. Then for the next house, it is cherry wood, which is going to be a bit harder because I am slowly running out of houses, 2 different types of houses to do, but I think I might be able to manage. So this one's going to be pretty similar to the birch house, but it's going to be more of the same material. So this one, the exterior, and for this one everything is going to be cherry except the interior design with all the survival stuff you need. So I'm just going to go for quite a small base for this house. Okay. This one is probably going to be my favourite, but at the end I will review all of them and then say which is my favourite. So, the title is still up for grabs. Instead of glass windows, you can use trapdoors, but it might take a little while to do. Yep. So, like this, you can have the window closed or open. But if you want to, you can just use regular glass. I'm gonna build the roof, which is gonna start like this. Place. So with this house being all cherry wood, it does make it very unsafe for people wanting to loot your stuff or burning or accidentally catching your house on fire. So oh, okay. So this house's outside has almost been finished. And just adding the finishing touches to the house, which will be that. I've almost finished with the house, so then soon, in a moment, I will be adding the inside stuff. So just getting all the necessary stuff needed for this house. That there, chests, crafting table there, and finally a bed there. Torch there, and there. So this is the cherry wood house done. So that's the outside, and then here's the inside. And the next house, I think it's mangrove. No, I mean pale oak, yeah. So for this one, I have a kind of rough idea for what I want to do. So this one's gonna look kind of like trees are growing out of it. It's kind of like an abandoned shack type thing. An abandoned shack that's been taken over by plants. So I need a good place for this to go. It can go here. So this one's just going to be really small. Or quite small, not going to be too big, just so the main house part of this one is going to be quite small, and I'm going to use the same window technique that I did for the cherry house. But this time the only way you can see out is if they're open. And then I'm gonna have windows there and there. The door's gonna be there, with maybe a couple of windows on right here and here. Then I'm going to add the roof. So this is a really wide house. It's gonna, I'm gonna make it look as if it hasn't been touched for a long time. All the colours faded out of the planks, and all the wood. Trees have started to take over the house. So, just going to add some trees growing out of the house. So I'm going to have 3 trees in total. One sprouting from the side, one from the front, and one from the back. All are going to be slightly different. looks like it's supporting itself, and not just floating. Actually, I think that looks quite good how it is. So now I'm going to work on the inside. I think this is everything that I need for the inside. Ooh. A soul torch, that might look better. Oh yeah, it's dimmer, I think it looks nicer. So, here's the outside of the pale oak house. And then, here's the inside. Now, I think this should be the last one, because these don't spawn in the overworld naturally. So I'm going to build a bamboo house now. I've got a good idea on what I want it to look like. This is going to be quite small as well. So I'm gonna yeah. My inspiration for this house is going to be of like a monastery-ish thing, or like I don't really know, but it's going to be quite simple to make. So some fences here, too high, yep. Or 3 high, it just depends if, oh yep, you can get up. So this house is going to have a door here. I'm going to extend a few blocks back, a couple blocks back, so it's going to from the front you can kind of see what I was going for with monastery, but might be a bit hard to see. I'm gonna have like a very slightly slanted roof with slabs. I'm gonna bring these out by one so that it gives it a bit of depth. So that's the outside done. Just going to add some windows, another trapdoor window. Now for the interior, this is going to be another very simple one. It's going to be quite tight as well, but it will be able to work. So, but to do it you will have to put chests there, furnace there, furnace and crafting table there, bed there, or you can have a double chest there. Put your torches there. Here's the outside, and here's the inside. So now I'm gonna run through all the houses, and you will say in the comments which house is your favourite. So here's the oak house, which is kind of like a hobbit holy type thing. Ample room for anything, and overall I think it looks quite cool. Then we've got the spruce house, which I think is another cool house. Has quite a bit of room to do what you want. Then there's the birch house, which I think is another nice house, which also has quite a bit of room. Then there's the jungle beach hut with all your stuff, all the stuff that you'd need, and a little canopy here. And then there's the acacia one here, a little quite small house. There's the dark oak one, which looks cool as well. There's the cherry one. There's the pale oak one. And finally, there's the bamboo one. In my opinion, the bamboo one's my favourite, tell me in the comments which one's your favourite. That is all for this video. Goodbye.